Okay, so I've been gone for the last 2 weeks and my has a lot happened in the market. I'll go over some of it, see if we can find some good buys out there. But let's start off with last Friday. Market was down big, red across the board. Look at this heat map here. It was just ugly everywhere. I think what you really noticed it, a lot of people really noticed it here is with tech. Microsoft down 2%. All the big tech names that always do well. Amazon here almost down 9%. Google almost down 2.5%. Even banks were down pretty big over here. The only green spots here were surprisingly Coca-Cola, consumer defensive stocks, Pepsi, Procter and Gamble here. Utilities were all in the green for the most part. People looking for high yields, healthcare stocks, these are all safe plays. Real estate kind of green. Again, high yields, what the market was looking for. It was a wild day. It really felt like it was going to continue on, but there's a long weekend now, so we can regroup, I think. And my portfolio, yeah, this is at least down 2% what I had invested. I was a little lucky because I have a little bit in cash right now as potentially purchasing a property. So it was nice to have that safely set aside for today. But what I did have invested was down at least 2%. Looking at some winners on the TSX, BCE up a percent. I think they had earnings and seemed okay. It's that high yield. If they can cover that 8.5% yield, investors were flocking to this one. I don't own any of this, so I didn't get any upside here. It's made a little bit of a move here. Looking at the chart though, long term, like to me, it doesn't really interest me. If you're looking for yield though, this is a potential safe spot. Most of my equities are just high growth, so they got hurt. Another thing I noticed Friday was, look at this, TELUS International. Man, has this come down hard. Last 6 months, down 52%. On the day there, it was down another 36%. Last earnings report, it fell pretty hard too. I remember watching this one. It went from 1070 to closing at 870. So that was like about a 30% drop. Kind of got back up to about the same spot and boom, hit another. I haven't looked at the earnings on this one. I'm guessing they're not too good. That telehealth, all that stuff, that COVID stuff, long gone. And look at this. It had even a bit of a pump right here at the beginning of the year. Earlier this year it was at $15. Now it's at $5.75. Ouch. Just look at that chart. From the pandemic, $40 all the way down to $5.75. Just ouch across the board. Then I wanted to see what TELUS stock is. They're the majority holder of this one. It did pretty good. So flight to safety across the board here. 6.75% dividend yield. Again, this is not a stock I own, but all these telco companies in Canada are going to benefit from the growing population. We're adding about like 1 million people a year. They're going to get cable, they're going to get internet, they're going to get cell phones. I expect these companies to do well, at least be able to cover their dividend. But again, I haven't looked into this company. I don't own it. Here we are on their chart 5 years out. You're still at the bottom of the chart here. It's not going to give you huge capital gains, but if you're getting a 6.75% dividend yield, plus you get another 2-3% growth on the equity, not too shabby, especially with interest rates coming down. We'll go over that next. As I posted before, I think interest rates are going to come down pretty heavily. I did not expect it to come down as fast as the people are thinking now. I don't think we're going to get an emergency cut, but I could see it coming down another 0.5%. Definitely down to 4% seems pretty easy. Bond yields on government here, 1 to 3 years, it's getting down to 3.5%. I think the market is expecting the Canadian government to drop interest rates down to 4% now, where they're currently at 4.5%. I think that's just an easy take here. Easily see that done by the end of the year. Could even go a little lower. The economy isn't super great right now. Canada is really surviving on immigration, adding so many people a year. If it wasn't for that, we would be in a recession here. So I posted about this before. If you really think interest rates are going to be coming down, that's really going to help real estate stocks, REITs. I think we could be in for some volatility here, but over time, dropping interest rates are going to help the economy. I definitely think there's buyers out there for real estate anywhere in Toronto or Vancouver. If interest rates came down, people will step off the sidelines. It's just right now, no one's qualifying for anything. And I think most Canadians know interest rates are going to come down, so they're kind of waiting it out. There's no rush to buy something if you know the price isn't going to go up that much and interest rates are coming down. So there you go, Canadian bond yields again. Look at this, just falling hard here. We have the 5 year and the 2 year. White is the 5 year, under 3%. Canada bond yields there, 5 years under 3%. The 2 years is dropping just over 3%. So there you go. They're coming down hard there. As fast as interest rates went up, we could see interest rates coming right back down. And there's one more stock I just wanted to check out just for the fun of it. Here we go. If anyone remembers this one, it's been in the news for a bit here. This was a highly coveted retail Canadian power company here. I luckily don't believe I did buy into this one. I definitely don't own it now. I don't remember buying into it, but I was very tempted here in around the $20 raise. It's cut in half. They cut the dividend. I still don't know if they cut the dividend enough, but with interest rates falling, this one might get a little bit of a boost. Again, nothing crazy, nothing big, maybe looking at like 6 to 8% year over year gain. But this has always been a fun one to follow, one I almost bought into. But yeah, there's been a lot to cover the last week or two. So I haven't been able to post any videos. If there's any stocks you want me to check out, put it down in the comments below. And thanks for watching.